I want to be a free thinking moral agent. I want to be a person who doesn't just go along with things because people like that make the world a better place. And I firmly was growing that belief and at the same time feeling I was complicit. My name's Annica Schoo. I am currently the lead environmental investigator at the Australian Conservation Foundation, and I've come to be known as a climate quitter. So I guess basically I started in the public service as a naive country kid moving up to Canberra, which was the big smoke for me. And it was basically a job to begin with. And then I undertook a Cert 4 in government, and through that process really started to learn exactly what it is that the public service does. So I was like really in my early 20s while studying, also being on the ground and seeing the consequences of policy. It was a really interesting mix of learning about society in theory and then experiencing how government works in practice. I really came to love Australia's bush at the same time as learning that protecting nature was this political thing. Because before that, I was, going for bushwalks and involved in land care and that sort of thing. And I just assumed that everything was hunky-dory, basically. And it was really only on the job that I learned that things probably weren't going as well as they could be. The way that ministers employ senior executives in the public service means that they can drop them at the drop of a hat. They can take responsibilities from them, fire them. And it gets to the point for senior executives who have the closest relationships with the ministers that they're asking themselves, is this one issue worth me losing my job for? Is this one issue worth me bankrupting my family for, losing my house for? And that's a very different sort of weighing up of issues than being confident that you'll keep your job and knowing that your role is to be honest and holding that really important distance between the current government and the continuity of the public service. I felt like I was in a big cruise ship that was heading just slightly off due north, but had been doing so for a few years. And I really had to wrench the steering wheel and very, very slowly, get it back on keel. And it was a really difficult process. And there was a lot of uncertainty and a lot of sort of grief in that, but the rewards have been incredible. I'm obsessed with my job because I'm doing something that's consistent with my values. And the things that keep me up at night now are, am I doing enough of what I'm already doing? I just want to be doing more of what I'm already doing. I do sometimes wish I was back in there and have been tempted with offers to return to the public service because I believe in the capacity of the public service to do good. And I've never lost that belief despite all of my experiences. And really, it's why I'm so passionate about talking about these sorts of things, because I think it can do better. And I think at its best, it can achieve amazing things. And especially when you're talking about really inconvenient truths like the extinction crisis and the climate crisis, these things, if we're to properly deal with them, will require essentially an industrial revolution. And we're going to have to confront some difficult things for Australia and in the Australian identity. We're going to have to confront this myth of the farmer as the hardworking, good Aussie person, because sometimes, and not all farmers, but sometimes farmers are responsible for this kind of thing. And, same with the resources industry, the backbone of our economy. It might not be the backbone of our economy if the planet is to survive. And those are really difficult things to confront.